Loneliness has been long viewed as a universal condition, which means to a certain extent that everyone feels it at some point or by some degree. It's the perspective of each individual that changes the dynamic of the condition. For instance, some view loneliness can be a beneficial aspect of life that can help one appreciate the joys of living. Others can view loneliness as a heavy weight or a burden that is unavoidable. Whatever the case, loneliness is a part of life, especially during this age of social media. Loneliness can be a leading cause in parasocial relationships and a reason for a lack of personal, meaningful relationships. It can come from a cultural aspect. As the ever-pressing tensions of the world continue to collide, one can certainly feel a sense of loneliness from their cultural values or traditions. It can be social, emotional, family-oriented, or compacted by a lack of romantic interest. There are quite frankly many ways loneliness can affect someone, and it can be a different perspective to each individual. But that's the key point: perspective. Everyone thinks and sees through their eyes or thoughts, and most people don't see any other way or think any other way. This is not inherently bad, it's just human nature. We all live through our own perspectives, and we expect our perspectives to be different from others. Thomas Wolfe once wrote, "Everyone imagines that they are lonely in a special way unique to themselves, whereas really every single person sometimes experiences loneliness." We're all stuck in our own perspective that we rarely consider the possibility that it could be a collective perspective. This is why I believe loneliness in any form can be a condition we can all share and use as a way to understand each other. So what does this have to do with MMOs? MMOs are by definition social. The name speaks for itself: massive multiplayer online. 3 key words that share aspects of social interaction, which should negate the aspect of being alone, of feeling alone. And yet, it doesn't. MMOs, while built online with thousands of players playing at once, clearly have characteristics that entice the solo mindset. I mean, take a look at RuneScape, for example. I've never talked to a single person in here, I've done everything I've done on my character alone, and yet the game is classified as an MMO. Questing in many MMOs can be done and is mostly done solo. Leveling your character is an integral part of any MMO, and some would even say the main journey. There are elements of group content, but most, if not all, leveling to max character can be done alone. Farming for materials or collectibles, as something that is very popular in a lot of MMOs, is also solo content. Gearing your max character, while done in a group setting, there isn't need for a strong sense of communication, or you don't even have to even acknowledge the other players. Take World of Warcraft, for example. You can queue up for a dungeon, be placed in one after a certain amount of time with 4 other players, and yet you never have to talk to a single one. Is this solo content masked by a random group game design? Hell, in retail now, you can queue up into a dungeon with 4 other AI characters. No real players. Solo content. You can even do world quests, which are quests designed to do solo that will give you a reward. Some of those rewards are gear. Therefore, you don't even need a group to gear up your character. Now, raiding is by far the most group-oriented content. With the higher in difficulty to go, the more communication that is required. Therefore, it does become more of an MMO than the rest of the game. But if that's only a small percent of the game, can we really call MMOs a massive multiplayer game if we rarely, if ever, connect with other players? And when we do connect with other players, most of that connection requires no communication or effort. Therefore, we're just existing in this shared space together for this small amount of time. If the game by design has so many solo features, should we expect loneliness to be a part of the game by design? This is not to hate on anyone who enjoys playing an MMO alone. It can be a unique experience, going at your own pace, exploring the world, experiencing the story, etc. There's nothing wrong with wanting to play the game solo. Remember, it's all about perspective. I'm asking, why do we call it an MMO if there are so many elements of the game that don't fit that genre? I'm asking, is loneliness an integral part of the MMO genre, and is that concept a bad thing? Personally, I love doing both. I love playing the game with other players, and I love playing the game by myself. I enjoy gearing up my max level character and working with others to complete a goal, but I also enjoy playing alone, collecting things, or leveling up a new character. I enjoy the loneliness when it presents itself. I enjoy playing MMOs alone because I'm someone in a living world. I love seeing players out in the wild and having small interactions with them as I'm focused on my own gameplay elements. It's like being in a crowded room where you're not talking to anyone, you're just observing, just doing your own thing, but you're present. It acts as a sense of belonging in a world where it is so hard to belong, and while I'm alone, I don't feel isolated. I think loneliness has this perception of being isolated or being empty, but to me, it gives me solitude. It gives me time to breathe without social pressures, gives me time to not ignore, but to not think about the impending doom the world is going through. Playing solo gives me the power of choice of what I want to do when I want to do it. The idea of having the option for group content but not being required to do said group content is a great game design. However, I do believe not all aspects of the game should be solo content. It is, at its core, an MMO. And if loneliness is a universal trait, then perhaps there should be a universal game that gives players a chance to embrace or move away from their perceived loneliness. I believe MMOs can offer that choice. They bring balance to two sides of the equation. They give elements for those who wish to embrace their loneliness and play solo, and they give elements for those who wish to move away from their loneliness and play with others. So yes, I do believe loneliness is an integral part of MMOs, but it's up to the players and how they view that loneliness to choose to either embrace those elements of the game or don't interact with them and choose the social interactions. And any choice is a good choice as long as it's your choice. Cheers.